Fantastic to all.
Yes, sir.
Others are waiting for you. I am just going to start with a new topic. This is regarding the factors that influence the pricing decisions or factors that actually affect the price setting decisions in an organization. So in a couple of minutes, we will start. Since some to be considered while setting a price, and here we will talk about the internal factors and the external factors. Talking about the internal factors, first let us try to understand the role of marketing objectives when setting a price for any particular product or a service. So as we all know that marketing objectives basically helps in creating market positioning, branding, brand association, and brand loyalty. So the objectives of the companies are going to define what type of price to be set for a particular product or a service. The first thing which is to be discussed over here, it is the market positioning. As we all know that the market positioning influences your price setting strategy. If your positioning is very strong, consider the product called as Johnson and Johnson. Consider Maruti brand. Consider Hyundai brand. Their product positioning is very strong in the market. So while setting a price, they would not find it difficult to set the price of a particular vehicle or for the product at a particular price which they are expecting to offer to the customers, because they have a very strong positioning and customers are ready to pay extra price for a better quality product having got a strong brand image. As we all know that in the market we have lot of brands related to any particular product category, whether it is fast moving consumer goods category, whether it is automobile segment, whether it is pharmaceutical industry, whether it is a retail industry. Everywhere we are being flooded with lots of brands, but those brands which are having a very strong positioning are the ones which can set their prices high. Whereas if your positioning is very weak or you are not so strong in the market, you are just average, then you cannot set your prices very high. So it all depends upon the mind game. What value the consumers are going to give you, especially for your brand, when you are going to set a price, that time you need to consider all these factors. And this talks about the market positioning strategy. Market positioning means it is the image in the mind of the customers. If the customers are very satisfied, they are very happy with your brand, they would love to purchase it even at a premium price. As I talked about the case of Johnson and Johnson, you have many such other cases wherein the brands are sold at a very premium price. You know about the Bose speakers, you know about the Amazon Echo, that products are very successful in the market. You know about the Apple phones. The product is very successful in the market. The brand is so powerful that the people are ready to pay even 1 lakh rupees to purchase the new iPhone for themselves. So this is all just because of the market positioning. If your market positioning is very good, you can beat any competitor, even if you are keeping the prices very high. Now, please remember that market positioning does not always means that you would be always successful and your brand will always be preferred. Let's take the example of Tata. They are considered as globally one of the most reputable brand, having a very strong goodwill. They come under the top 100 companies which are having a very strong goodwill in the market. But still, in India, they are struggling in the passenger car segment. They are very good. They are leading in terms of commercial vehicles. But when you talk about the passenger cars, they are still struggling. They are at number 4 or number 5. Despite of the fact that they had launched many new variants in the market, having a fact that they are having 5-star safety cars in India, which no other competitors have been able to offer at that particular price. So market positioning does not always means that your brand will always be successful. Yes, people can know your brand, they recognize your brand, but then Positioning is one thing. The other things which you need to consider is whether you want to survive in the market. As we all know that if we want to survive, we would be ready to compromise with anything whichever is being given in terms of salary, in terms of packaging, in terms of we can say that in order to get the bread and butter, in order to earn that particular thing, we sometimes have no choice. So we accept an offer which is not matching with our level or matching with our expectations. Same is the case with the commodities. Same is the case with the brands. Survival is very important. If your product has already reached a declining phase, or consider a scenario where the product has reached the maturity phase, no further new markets can be created, no new profits can be generated. What the company can do best is just lowering the price so that they can survive for a longer time. Maruti 800, before it was discontinued, the prices were slashed. When Alto was discontinued, that time again the prices were slashed. These are some of the examples. Before the product has been phased out completely from the market, companies generally try to milk the brand just because they want it to just survive as long as it is possible. Survival is one important aspect. Consider the scenario wherein 4 or 5 shops selling the similar product, for example shoes, in a one particular locality, and every shop is being located next to each other. In that case, there would be a cutthroat competition. This cutthroat competition will hamper the entire profit motive of every shop owner. What they can best do is, in order to just survive, they will be happy to keep the price low. They would be happy to keep their profit margins low so that they can at least get some business. There are a lot of examples in Pune also. If you go to the Pet area, there are shops which are just in that particular line, in the lane only. And if you go to Tulsi Bagh, again, the competition is very stringent. Here, every competitor is having all the stuff, whatever the other shop is been offering, but they are ready with some other price discounts and the promotional offers. That is just because of the survival motive. So while setting the price, you need to think in your mind, first of all, if your product is just introductory in the market, what should be the price? Prices cannot be kept very high while you are introducing your brand to the market. Once you grow, you can raise the prices further, because that is the phase wherein the companies can generate the maximum amount of revenue and the profitability. Again, the stage comes which is called as the maturity stage, wherein the profits become stagnant. This is the stage wherein the peak of the profit has been attained. No further new profits, the additional profits, the market growth can be expected after this stage. So here survival comes into question. How long the product will survive? So in that case, the company will try to reduce the prices in accordance with the competition so that they can sell it off to the customers. As you know that when Apple launches their new particular variant in the model, that is iPhone 12, iPhone 13, whatever they would be launching in future, the existing version's price has been reduced. They do not phase out the particular product immediately. They reduce the prices. That is one strategy. Current profit maximization. For the maximization of profit, companies have a skimming pricing strategy wherein they try to target only the creamy layer of the customers. Premium brands like Mercedes, Audi, BMW, you have Apple phones, then Samsung Galaxy, the premium segments phones, they have that profit maximization strategy, and for that purpose they keep the prices very high, not generally below 40-50,000, that is above 50-60,000 in case of a smartphone. And if you know about the brands like Jeep, you know the brands like Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Ferrari, their prices are much higher because they know that their brand positioning is very strong, and it is because of the same reason they want to maximize the profit as long as it is possible. They want to encash that brand, and that brand image, it is the entire competition. Microsoft and Apple are the most recognized brand in the entire world. Their valuation has crossed $2 trillion. This is something which is very amazing. Brands cannot become profitable unless they have a very strong positioning in the market. And that positioning is being created on the basis of your marketing mix strategies. Market share leadership talks about if you want to be leader in the market for a given segment, what should be the prices? If you keep the prices such that the competitors are being discouraged to enter into that segment because they fear that the market will only prefer your brand. For example, if Tata is a very big organization, tomorrow if they decide to enter into the FMCG category full-fledged, so the other competitors would be having a fear because Tata will keep the prices such that the new competitors will get discouraged because they cannot sell it below at that particular price which Tata would be offering to the market to their customers just because they want to gain the market share. So most of the times companies set their prices in such a way that they want to become the leader in the market share, and for that purpose the prices are being set in accordance to the competitors. As you know, the strategy of Jio, they wanted to gain the leadership in the cellular service provider industry, which they have successfully attained. That is just because of the market share leadership. Then you have product quality leadership. Sometimes the prices are set in accordance to the quality. You have basic versions, you have advanced versions or the premium versions or the standard versions. In every product category you will find that, for example, in case of automobile vehicle, every vehicle comes up with the lower end, then middle, and then the top end model. That top end model talks about the premium features, the maximum premium features which can be installed in a particular vehicle. This is the product quality. They talk about the quality, they talk about the features, and that is why they are setting the prices generally higher than what is being kept for the basic version or the basic models. So everywhere you will find that the product quality leadership will talk about. In case of restaurants or a hotel, you have the particular opportunity to book a luxury suite for yourself, or you can book a single room for yourself. If you are booking a luxury suite for yourself in a 5-star hotel, the charges would not be less than 45 to 50K for one day. Whereas if you book a hotel for yourself in a 5-star hotel, the charges would be around 12,000 to 22,000 rupees roughly for a given day. This is why, because the customers, those who want some better quality, something extra, that will go for the luxury suite, and for them the prices will be premium. In case of other products, for example, there are certain uh, limited edition watches, limited edition bikes, limited edition vehicles, limited edition products which are being manufactured by the company time to time, just because they want to get that product quality leadership. That particular limited edition has got something extra which the other versions are not having. For example, a bike called as Triumph, it is a company of UK. They have their showroom in Pashan. This is 100 years old bike company. It is a luxury cruise bike manufacturing company. In that company, particular store, when I visited in 2019, I observed that the starting price of the bikes was from 10 lakh rupees onwards. And there was a limited edition cruise bike which was there in the showroom. The price of the bike was 30 lakh rupees. So I just asked, what is the difference in this particular limited edition bike? So the showroom manager had told me that this particular bike is having 2500 cc engine, and the other bikes which are being manufactured for this particular category, they have only maximum 2200 cc engine. So they have increased the cc, the cubic capacity of the engine, making it more powerful, and only 500 bikes were manufactured under the limited edition. And that was the beauty, that the particular bike was having a number. What was the number of that manufacturing of the bike? It was 44. It was been manufactured in the plant, and it at 44 number. And the owner, it was a pre-owned bike. Owner had taken 44 number for the registration also, for which he paid 5 lakh rupees, since the bike is a premium bike. it was an imported bike, so the charges are high. So why I'm sharing these things to you? Because people are ready to pay extra amount for a better quality product. I will give you a very simple example of Parle G. Parle G comes up with
Sir,
two
just like
variants.
Dhoni, sir.
Yes, let me complete with the example, then I will come to you. You know that the case of Parle G. Parle G comes up with another collection, the premium range biscuits and the snacks, that is the Platina collection. That Platina range is entirely different. It is being targeted to the customers who are ready to pay extra money for getting some better quality snacks, especially the biscuits and the cookies. Whereas the Parle G range comes up with the normal biscuits. Here in Parle G also you have two different versions. One biscuit which comes for 5 rupees and the another which comes for 10 rupees. That is Parle G Gold. So this is how the product quality leadership is. Those customers who want to go for the quality will be ready to pay the extra money for the quality product and they won't mind that. Now, Dhoni, yes, over to you. You can share the examples.
Yes, sir. Dhoni also have limited edition bike, sir. Hellcat
Exactly.
name है उसका, जो
So
वर्ल्ड में सिर्फ 12 बनी हुई है.
exactly.
तो
So
कंपनी
people love
जो
to buy the
उसकी
limited
डिजाइन है वो सब.
editions, the premium versions. Those who can afford that, they can buy that, and for that the company is always having that thing in their mind. For example, Apple phone manufactures the Falcon series phones. The Falcon series phones are made of 24 karat gold and studded with the diamond. The starting price of the Falcon series mobile phone, it is 60 lakh rupees, and this 60 lakh rupees is not a joke. But those people, those who want that premium features or the better quality, they are ready to pay for it. In India, there are 8 customers who have purchased the Falcon, including Nita Ambani. This is there. You can Google it and you will find all the other details. Now, talking about Nokia, they have got a Virtu division. Virtu mobiles are basically the premium segment, the premium range mobiles, which are smartphones, which are being targeted to the consumers who are ready to pay extra money for getting that smartphone. So this is about the product quality leadership. There are some organizations which talk about the not-for-profit objectives, wherein they are just interested in only partial or full cost recovery, and they do the social pricing. Social pricing means the mask, for example, the N95 mask. The companies are now selling the mask only for 12 rupees as per the government order. It is a social pricing. You cannot increase the price of a common salt above 30 rupees. But if it is a premium category, for example, the pure salt, that talks about the raw form of the salt, the pink salt, they are selling it for 90 rupees. That is a different category. But the simple white common salt, it is available in the market maximum for 30 rupees or 35 rupees. That is a social pricing. You cannot raise it beyond a particular limit. Social pricing means keeping the prices low. Gas cylinders, the prices are being set by the government. They give you the subsidy just because the prices have been increased, people may not be able to afford that. So certain commodities have the social pricing. Vaccines have been declared as mandatory for all above 18 years of age group. Now, in case of vaccine, the government has decided what would be the service charge, and the government has also decided what would be the price of one single dosage for Covaxin and for the Covishield respectively. So this is how the pricing has been done based on the marketing objective. Is the point clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
want to
sir.
know from others also.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear.
Okay, fine. So let's move ahead. Now let us understand about the marketing mix strategies. You know that marketing mix strategies significantly influence your pricing decisions. Pricing must be carefully coordinated with the other marketing mix elements. For example, Vaseline comes with a small 5 gram of that particular small pack that is available in the market only for 5 rupees. They are just targeting the customers, those who do not want to buy the 100 gram the Vaseline or a 50-gram Vaseline. So prices are being set based on the marketing mix strategies. Now, Burger King, McD, Subway, they always prefer the premium properties wherein they can have a store and they can offer the burgers to the customers. Because of this reason only, if McD would like to sell their burgers for 10 rupees or 15 rupees in competition with Vada Pav, they would never do that because they have a brand image. At the same time, they know that the location factor influences a lot. They have to recover the cost also. At the same time, they have to be profitable also. So pricing must be carefully coordinated with all other marketing mix elements. Every product, whichever comes with different variants or different versions, the prices are being set accordingly. Target costing is often used to support the product positioning strategies based on the price. What is target costing? The companies generally set the target cost, that this should be my cost, including the fixed cost component, the variable cost component. Now, in this case, when the target costing has been already set, the companies will try to keep the cost in that range. It will help the company to further do the product positioning based on the marketing mix. Product positioning mix, the company can tell you that our product is available at this particular dirt cheap price or at this particular affordable price which you can easily get, and that is how the target costing aims for. For example, the company will decide to manufacture a smartphone for 4,000 rupees and the dealer's commission would be 500 rupees and the end consumer will get it for 5,000 rupees inclusive of the taxes. So the target costing will help us to identify what would be the particular pricing for the product with respect to its attributes and whom are we going to compete with in the same category in the market and who are going to be our customers. So the marketing mix strategies helps us in setting the price through the target costing. Then you have the non-price positioning. Non-price positioning, sometimes it is very important. Here you are not using the price, but ultimately you are indicating towards the brand image. You are not talking about the price to position your brand, but sometimes you are talking about the other features, the qualities, the other things. Because of that, the customers are having this image in their mind that this product is better as compared to the competitors. Let us try that product, let us purchase that product only. So this is why we say that the non-price positioning is one of the important marketing mix strategy. As we know that the cases of the premium brands, people prefer it. For example, Hugo perfume, it is one of the premium range perfume. Then you have the Ferrari range, then you have Titan. This Titan is having a particular range of perfume. What is the name of that perfume? Skin.
Yes, sir.
It is called as the Skin. So all these are the premium range perfumes wherein the prices are not always been targeted. Here the companies are looking for the other attributes. For example, the convenience factor could also be looked at. The availability of product can also be looked at. The brand image can also be looked at. The other premium features in addition to the product which the companies are offering, that is also being used for price positioning. For example, if you purchase X product, you will get Y as a complimentary gift. For example, Mercedes Benz. If you purchase a Mercedes car for yourself today, you will be gifted with a Louis Vuitton bag as per the scheme which is going on. This Louis Vuitton bag is very expensive. It comes from that particular the famous company, and it is one of the most premium range bag starting from 60,000 rupees onwards. So the amount which you are purchasing and the amount which you are investing for the car, in the same amount you will be getting around 60 to 70,000 worth back, which is why the company is saying that they are doing their brand positioning. The Louis Vuitton wanted to enter in India, but how to create the awareness, how to position the brand, that was the question. So then Louis Vuitton had decided if we would sell our bag along with the Mercedes, wherein the cost will be included, and if the Mercedes will sell that particular product, it is not selling, actually they are offering it as a gift, but then you know that nothing is free in the market. Everything comes with a price. If the company is saying that 30% extra or 40% extra or buy one get one free, nothing is free. everything comes up with the price and you are already paying for it. Companies try to reduce the prices using the target costing strategy, and at the same time they have non-price promotion strategy, means selling one product or giving one product along with some other non-competing brand. This is how the companies are trying to create the positioning and set the price for the brand. Tomorrow when the customer will become aware, next time when they would like to purchase a bag for themselves, they would definitely prefer Louis Vuitton because of its quality, and they would definitely go for that. That is why the non-price positioning is very important. Is the point clear to all? How non-price positioning is useful these days? For example, a restaurant is attracting the customers using the natural surroundings. In Chinchwad, you have Ranmala restaurant, wherein if you go, you will find that there are mango trees around, and that mango trees are loaded with lot of mangoes. That is the beauty. You can have your particular food surrounded by the mango trees, and with that aroma, people love to have that particular food over there. So they have done the non-price positioning, that if you are coming over here, you will get the Nesargic beauty over here. Nesargic means something which is natural, something which is not readily available in those restaurants and in those fine dine restaurants and those hotels. That is what their non-price positioning is. Many organizations are doing that non-price positioning using the emotions as a tool. For example, the DD Mass jewelry, which is selling that diamond jewelry sets, they are always looking at the emotion part, and they are focusing on the premium customers, the higher middle class or the rich class customers, those who can afford the diamond jewelry for their partners. This is why the non-price positioning is very important. Here, people are not coming to your particular shop just because your prices are low or just because your prices are competitive. They are coming to your shop because they are feeling some affinity. They are feeling some bonding with your product, or they have got certain emotions with your brand. This is very important. Is the point clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So here is an example for you. The Swatch company, which is a Swiss watchmaking company, it is one of the premium watchmaking company. They use the target costing to manage the cost carefully and create a watch offering the right blend of fashion and the functions at a price the consumers would pay. So they wanted to launch a premium category watch in the market. For that, they had already done the market research, and then based on that, they identified what should be the target costing for the product, and they had fixed the price in that, so that the customer would get a blend of fashion and the functions at a price which they can afford. The other example is of Titan Raga. Before Titan Raga was launched in the market, that time Tata wanted to just penetrate in that segment wherein they could focus on the working women, those who want a watch, a premium looking watch, but cannot afford to buy beyond 15,000 worth watches. So the Titan Raga range was launched starting from 5,000 to 15,000, looking premium but very affordable. That is what the strategy of Tata Titan Raga was, and they are very successful in the market today. So you have the target costing. Remember, target costing helps you a lot. Fog is another example. Using the target costing, they had set the price, and then they are now the number one in the market. They have already dislodged the main competitor in the market, and today if you see the Wildstone or the X brand, they are at number three position. They are not being able to compete with this because of the market coverage. Second number position has been occupied by Engage brand. So the time will come wherein you will find that some other competitor will come and will change all these game. Target costing, non-price positioning, the marketing mix strategies helps greatly in setting the prices. Now talking about the cost, as you all know that you are the student of marketing and finance, you know that what is the role of cost in setting the price. If the cost is high, you cannot set the prices low, and if you do that, you won't be able to survive. So the cost should be such that it should be able to give you the scope for setting the price. If the cost is cut to cut, you will not be able to set the prices for the product whatever you expect to be. So we have the variable cost components, the fixed cost components, and that makes the total cost. Variable cost, as you all know, that it is by virtue of the production. As you increase the volume or decrease the volume, the variable cost will keep on changing. Fixed cost is that cost like rent rates and taxes, that depreciation, for example, that remain fixed. But then you need to consider that overheads also. These overheads, if you are not able to control, which is also called as one kind of indirect cost. If you are not able to control on the overheads, you will not be able to set the price of the particular product. You will not be able to offer your service at a competitive price to the other customers. Why Urban Clap has become the market leader today in terms of providing the plumbing services, in terms of providing the repairing services and other services, just because their prices were very competitive as compared to the other apps or as compared to the other competitors. Why Byju's has become the market leader? Just because they were the pioneer, and second thing, their cost is really very affordable. People can afford that particular price. For example, they have Whitehead Junior brand now. Through this, from 6 years onwards, the kids or the children can start learning the coding, and this coding language course comes at a very affordable price. So this is how the cost can work. It can do the magic if at all you know what cost you have to keep according to the customer mindset. If you know what is the market trend, if you know that what is the customer expectations, so cost is very important. And then how cost vary at different production level will also influence the price setting. As we all know that during the entire production cycle, in the long run, there is no fixed cost. All the cost becomes variable in nature in the long run. This is what we have studied. So the cost will vary at different production level, and that will also influence your price. And that we talk about the cost volume profit analysis. The CVP analysis tells us about what should be the pricing based on the volume. If the volume is being increased, you get the economies of a scale, and that will reduce the further prices. If you slash the prices, probably you have an opportunity to attract more customers. Then you have the experience learning curve, which is having an effect on the price. For example, if you have set a price for a product X and then you have observed that the market is not giving you that much of business just because the pricing is not appropriate, what next strategy you would do is, based on your learning, based on your experience, you will try to adjust, you will try to change the price, and that is all the cost will work over here. You will try to adjust the prices so that the cost will not be affected. You can recover the cost, at the same time the profit margins, even if it is low, it is okay, but then you should get the volumes of business, just like the Parle is doing. They are getting only 37 to 40 paisa every single unit which they are producing, but then if it has been multiplied by 5 lakh biscuits which are being consumed in India every day, that 5 lakh packets, if they are consumed, and 37 paisa if it has been multiplied, it becomes a very huge business. Maggie is another example. The profit margins are very less because they have other competitors, and then they are selling in volumes, and because of that volume they are able to get the 60+% of the market share. So that is because of the experience curve. I hope my example has been clear to all. Is that any doubt?
No, sir.
Any questions from anyone? Thank you for responding. Others should also reciprocate. I should not feel that I am talking to my own screen or I am talking to myself.
All clear, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, cost per unit at different production levels. As you know that this is the cost curve. For example, if 1000 quantities are being produced per day, this would be the short run average cost curve. This is the point wherein the cost will be lower. After that, the cost will increase because the carrying cost will increase, right? And this carrying cost will ultimately affect our overall costing. So please remember, friends, that in the long run, if you sum up all these cost curve 1, 2, 3 and 4, you will get the long run average cost curve. This will be having the lowest cost over here. This is called as the optimum cost. So the cost behavior over the different size plants. If it is a small size plant, the cost behavior will be like this. If it is a large scale plant manufacturing large number of units, you will find that the cost curve will be behaving differently. So you need to work on these cost curves and you have to identify the particular optimum cost for your particular product. Now, when you talk about the cost per unit as a function of accumulated production, the cost per unit, as you can see, when you increase the production, the cost per unit will decrease. This you have already studied in cost volume profit analysis, break-even point analysis, and that is how the things are very important for your setting your prices. If you increase the volumes, prices will fall because cost per unit will also substantially decrease. Now talking about the other organizational considerations, that is under the internal factors. Other organizational considerations which are to be taken into account are, number one, who sets the price? ये price setting कौन कर रहा है? Small companies में CEO या top management करता है, large companies में divisional या product line managers करते हैं. इनका जो ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है उसके हिसाब से प्राइस सेटिंग भी इन्फ्लुएंस होता है. प्राइस नेगोशिएशन इज कॉमन इन इंडस्ट्रियल सेटिंग, यू नो दैट. इफ द वेंडर हैज सेड दैट दिस पर्टिकुलर component part will be supplied at price 10,000 per unit, then the company will further negotiate it and will try to reduce it just because वहां पर उनको बल्क में मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करनी है. अगर वो उसका प्राइस नेगोशिएट करते हैं और 1 रुपए भी कम करवा लिया तो लाखों यूनिट जब मैन्युफैक्चर करेंगे तो लाखों रुपए का आपको फायदा हो सकता है और सेविंग हो सकती है. सो वहां पर अलग प्राइस सेटिंग होती है. सम इंडस्ट्रीज हैव प्राइसिंग डिपार्टमेंट्स. मेनी इंडस्ट्रीज लाइक टाटा, you have the other companies also like Hyundai, Mercedes, they have their price setting departments. वो क्या करते हैं, वो डिपार्टमेंट फोकस करते हैं कि कॉम्पिटिटर का क्या प्राइस है और उसके हिसाब से अपनी स्ट्रैटेजी बनाते हैं. तो ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल कंसिडरेशन है. सो जब बात करते हैं फैक्टर्स जो प्राइस सेटिंग को इन्फ्लुएंस करते हैं तो वो 4 मेजर फैक्टर हैं. मार्केटिंग ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, मार्केटिंग मिक्स, कॉस्ट और चौथा है आपका ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल कंसिडरेशन. यहां तक किसी को कोई क्वेश्चन है? सागर, तेजस?
नो सर.
Okay.
No, sir.
Now I'm going ahead. Now as we go ahead, we are going to understand about the external factors. External factors are very important while planning the pricing strategy. What are the external factors? Let us try to understand. The first external factor is the type of market. And you have already studied this thing in your economics. The pure competition, the monopolistic competition, oligopolistic competition, and pure monopoly. In case of pure monopoly, you have the command. You can set the prices on your own. Some cancer drugs, some rare disease drugs. Recently, one boy from Pune, he was suffering from a rare disease. For that, Virat Kohli, they and his wife, they had managed to raise 16 crore rupees for one injection, because he was suffering from muscular atrophy, which is one of the rare disease which happens once in a lakh. So that was the disease, and for that the particular drug manufacturing company, it is not from India, they had imported that injection. Government had waived off the duties on that injection, and the price of single vial of injection, it is 16 crores. Now that is about the monopoly. If you have the particular command, if you have the technological advantage, if you have some know-how which no other competitor is having, which no other close competitor possesses, that means you have the monopoly in the given market only. You can say that क्यों पड़े हो चक्कर में जब कोई नहीं है टक्कर में. That is what the monopoly is. But then if there are few sellers, that becomes a monopolistic competition. Oligopolistic, again there are large number of sellers selling products, homogeneous, heterogeneous, you have the choices. In case of pure competition, I can only say that pure competition does not exist. It is a hypothetical term. But why we use the pure competition? Just to measure the varying degree of imperfections that lies in a market. How much imperfection exists in a market, that can be described only when if you know what would be the state of pure competition. Is the point clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So talking about,
Yes, sir.
thank you so much. The next point is the consumer perception of price and value. कई बार क्या होता है, आपके दिमाग में एक प्राइस की एक और उसकी वैल्यू की एक इमेज बनी होती है कि मैं इस प्रोडक्ट के लिए इससे ज्यादा पैसा नहीं दूंगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आप मार्केट में गए, आपने कहा कि मुझे भाई आलू दे दो, गोभी दे दो, भिंडी दे दो. जब आप ये खरीदने जाते हो तो आपके दिमाग में एक इमेज बनी हुई है कि आलू का प्राइस इससे ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए. अगर कल को आलू आपका 200 रुपए किलो बिकेगा तो आपके दिमाग में आलू की एक इमेज बनी हुई है, वो उसको बोलते हैं प्राइस एंड वैल्यू. जितना आप प्राइस पे कर रहे हो उसके हिसाब से आपको लगता है कि अगर ये वैल्यू उतनी दे रहा है तो ही आप वो प्रोडक्ट खरीदेंगे, नहीं तो आप सब्स्टिट्यूट में स्विच कर जाएंगे. और यही एक चीज है जो लाइफ लॉन्ग काम करती है. आप जब कंपनीज में जाते हैं, इंटरव्यू देने के लिए जाते हैं, जब आप आपका इंटरव्यू देते हैं तो जो सामने बैठा एचआर है या जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का जो भी डिसीजन मेकर है, जो इंटरव्यूअर है, वो ये देखता है कि आपको वो अगर इतनी सैलरी देगा तो सैलरी के बदले में वो आपसे रिटर्न में क्या एक्सपेक्ट करेगा, या उससे उसको आपसे वो जो एक्सपेक्टेड है वो मिल पाएगा कि नहीं मिल पाएगा. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज वैल्यू. तो उसके लिए आपको अपनी यूएसपी बनानी होती है. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल, सिंपल मार्केटिंग स्पेशलाइजेशन करके गए तो ठीक है, आपको कंपनी में एंट्री मिल जाएगी, जॉब भी मिल जाएगी. लेकिन अगर आपने कुछ एडिशनल स्किल कोर्स कर लिया, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल द मार्केटिंग एनालिटिक्स, बिग डेटा, या आपने कुछ और मार्केटिंग के ऊपर, कुछ सीआरएम के ऊपर कोर्स कर लिया, एसएपी कर लिया, एसएपी इन मार्केटिंग, तो इसमें क्या होता है, कंपनीज को समझ में आ जाता है कि बंदा ज्यादा टैलेंटेड है, इसके पास ज्यादा स्किल्स हैं, इसको अगर हम इतनी सैलरी देंगे तो हमको रिटर्न में वैल्यू भी मिलेगी. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज प्राइस एंड वैल्यू. लोग क्यों स्टारबक्स में जाके 200-300 रुपए की कॉफी पीते हैं जबकि वही सेम कॉफी उनको रोड साइड में 10 रुपए 15 रुपए में मिल सकती है? बिकॉज प्राइस एंड वैल्यू, राइट. लोग क्यों मर्सिडीज बेंच गाड़ियां खरीदते हैं, ऑडी क्यों खरीदते हैं, जबकि उनको पता है कि ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इज द बेसिक नीड that can be fulfilled only by using any other vehicle, maybe it is Maruti, maybe it is Tata, maybe it is Hyundai, Honda or any other vehicle. लेकिन वो क्यों खरीदते हैं? वैल्यू. तो ये वैल्यू आपके दिमाग में होती है. किसी एक चीज को लेके आपकी वैल्यू बहुत ज्यादा हो सकती है या बहुत कम हो सकती है. उसके बेसिस पे कंपनीज को पता होता है कि कस्टमर कितना वैल्यू देता है ब्रांड को. One of the most recognized brand in the world, it is Apple. The second most recognized brand, it is your Microsoft. अगर इनको पता है कि इनकी वैल्यू इतनी ज्यादा है मार्केट में, तभी तो वो अपने फोन्स को 1 लाख 1.25 लाख रुपए में बेच पा रहे हैं. नहीं तो कोई भी 1 लाख 1.25 लाख रुपए में उनका फोन खरीदता? आंसर यू ऑलरेडी नो. अगर आज जियो कंपनी चाह ले या मारुति चाह ले कि वो अपनी एक प्रीमियम गाड़ी निकालेगी, जो अभी तो उनका प्रीमियम एक सेगमेंट है नेक्सा का, बट लेकिन वो प्रीमियम निकालेगी मर्सिडीज और ऑडी की टक्कर में, तो आपको लगता है क्या कि मर्सिडीज, ऑडी, टेस्ला की टक्कर में अगर उसने गाड़ी निकाली तो वो सक्सेसफुल होगी? वो इंडिया में ही नहीं, वर्ल्ड के किसी भी कंट्री में निकालेगी तो वहां पर भी सक्सेसफुल नहीं होगी, बिकॉज दे हैव अ ब्रांड इमेज एंड पीपल हैव द वैल्यू फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर ब्रांड बियॉन्ड विच दे वुड नेवर पे फॉर इट. राइट? इज द पॉइंट क्लियर टू ऑल?
Yes, sir.
सो प्राइस और वैल्यू का
Yes, sir.
लाइफ लॉन्ग एक रिलेशन है. आप अगर एक पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट बस में ट्रेवल करते हो और पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट बस वाला आपको 5 किलोमीटर के आपको बोले कि 200 रुपए हो गए, आप पे करोगे? नेवर. क्योंकि आपको पता है कि आप पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट में ट्रेवल कर रहे हो. बट देन इफ यू गो बाई अ कैब और आपके पास में कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, तो कैब वाला अगर आपसे 100 रुपए भी मांगेगा तो आप उसको दे देंगे, बिकॉज आपको पता है कि आपको वहां लग्जरी, कंफर्ट और ये सारी चीजें वैल्यू एडिशन होती हैं. राइट? पिज्जा एक सिंपल सी चीज है. होता क्या है? ये मॉडिफाइड ब्रेड है बेटा. पिज्जा एक मॉडिफाइड ब्रेड होता है जिसमें टॉपिंग्स लगा के वैल्यू एडिशन करके आपको वो सेल किया जाता है ब्रेड को. नॉर्मल ब्रेड आप खरीदते हैं तो 40 रुपए 50 रुपए से ज्यादा नहीं लेंगे, बट वही जब पिज्जा के फॉर्म में आ जाता है तो आपको पता है कि इसकी इतनी वैल्यू है, तो आप 500 रुपए, 600 रुपए, 1000 रुपए तक भी पे कर सकते हैं. आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? सो प्राइस एंड वैल्यू का हमेशा रिलेशन रहता है. जब आपको पता है कि इससे मुझे ये बेनिफिट मिलने वाला है, दैट इज द यूटिलिटी, द वैल्यू विच यू आर गोइंग टू गेट, अकॉर्डिंगली आप उसके हिसाब से पैसा भी पे करते हैं. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ हेल्थ सप्लीमेंट्स, न्यूट्रिशन सप्लीमेंट. जितने लोग जिम जाते हैं उनको पता होगा, वे प्रोटीन जो आता है वो इतना कॉस्टली रहता है. नॉर्मल घर में प्रोटीन पाउडर भी बना सकते हैं, बट देन लोग क्यों 5000-6000 रुपए का वो वे प्रोटीन खरीदते हैं? बिकॉज दे नो दैट दे आर गेटिंग वैल्यू. राइट, वो ब्रांड से जुड़ते हैं, ब्रांड इमेज होती है। बिंग ह्यूमन की टी शर्ट्स पहनते हैं, बिंग ह्यूमन इट्स वेरी प्रीमियम ब्रांड। वैन हुसैन की शर्ट पहनते हैं जो काफी एक्सपेंसिव है, लुई फिलिप पहनते हैं, क्यों? उनको वो उसमें वैल्यू दिखती है। वही वो मार्केट में जाके कहीं और से कपड़ा खरीद के सिलवा के अगर पहनेंगे तो जितने पैसे में उन्होंने एक शर्ट खरीदी है, जितने पैसे में एक ट्राउजर खरीदा है, उतने पैसे में तो उनके पास पूरा वार्डरोब भर सकता है। बट लोग नहीं करते वैल्यू, राइट? सो प्राइस डिमांड रिलेशनशिप इज द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट। देखिए, प्राइस और डिमांड का बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग रिलेशनशिप होता है। जिस प्रोडक्ट की जितनी डिमांड है, एज द डिमांड इज हाई द प्राइसेस विल आल्सो गेट अफेक्टेड। इफ द डिमांड is high, the prices will be higher. If the demand is low, prices will also go down. That is the normal thing. But this does not affect the premium category product. प्रीमियम कैटेगरी प्रोडक्ट के लिए डिमांड बढ़ती नहीं है जब उसके प्राइस गिरा दो। क्यों? क्योंकि वो प्राइस गिराएंगे तो जो रिच कस्टमर है वो भी लेना बंद कर देंगे। तो प्रीमियम कैटेगरी के लिए डिमांड कम है, चलेगा, but then they are targeting few customers from which they are getting the 100% of their particular targeted share of market or the targeted profit. For example, there is a hotel in Singapore. It is called as Sea La Vie. I repeat, it is called as Sea La Vie. Very simple name. If you go in a hotel for a single day, they are charging you 14.2 crores. अब आप सोचो कि वाओ, 14.2 crores for a single day for single person. How come it is possible? You can Google it and you will find all the details. They are not focusing on all the customers coming from every location. Rather, they are considering only the rich customers, those who want some special occasion to be celebrated in the hotel along with their partners. For example, it could be a marriage, it could be celebration, it could be something else. So for that purpose, they are targeting only 100 to 200 rich customers every year, and they are able to get that. From 100 to 150 customers, they are getting almost 100% of the target revenue every year, and that is why this hotel is running. Are you getting my point, beta?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
demand curve, ये जो डिमांड और सप्लाई का कर्व है, ये याद रखना, ये हर जगह पे एप्लीकेबल नहीं होता कि डिमांड बढ़ेगी तो प्राइस भी बढ़ेंगे, ऐसा नहीं है। कुछ चीजें ऐसी होती हैं जिनमें स्नॉब अपील होती है, प्रीमियम कैटेगरी प्रोडक्ट्स। देन यू हैव द गिफन गुड्स, जो पुअर क्वालिटी प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं, जो मतलब जैसे घर में यूज होने वाला पोछे वाला कपड़ा। अब आपको लगता है कि पोछे के कपड़े का दाम अगर गिर गया तो क्या आप घर को पोछे के कपड़े से थोड़ी बढ़ेंगे? वहां पे क्या होता है, आप स्विच कर जाएंगे किसी और सेगमेंट में, ऐसा बोला जाता है, ये थ्योरी है कि आपके पास पैसे बच रहे हैं तो आप बेटर क्वालिटी लेंगे। सो दैट इज व्हाई द डिमांड एंड सप्लाई कर्व, it influences, but only up to a certain extent. There is a store in Phoenix Market City in Pune which is selling the handmade premium soaps having the purest form of gold, purest form of silver, and purest pearl extract. The price of the soap for 100 grams starts from 6,000 rupees onwards. There are very few customers who turn up for that particular store to purchase that 100-gram handmade soap for that particular price. But it does not affect their entire profitability, right? Then you have the price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity क्या होता है? With a small variation in the price, what would be the fluctuation in the demand? That is called as elasticity. आपने रबर बैंड को देखा है? रबर बैंड को आप स्ट्रेच करते हैं, जैसे आप उसमें फोर्स लगाते हैं अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में, रबर बैंड स्ट्रेच होना चालू हो जाती है। तब तक स्ट्रेच होती है जब तक उसका एक पॉइंट नहीं आ जाता, जिसके बाद अगर आप उसको स्ट्रेच करेंगे तो वो ब्रेक हो जाएगी। वहीं से इलास्टिसिटी ली गई है। इलास्टिसिटी का मतलब ये है कि अगर थोड़ा सा प्राइस बढ़ा दिया गया या कम कर दिया गया, उसकी वजह से डिमांड में, किसी भी प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस की डिमांड में क्या असर पड़ेगा, क्या डिमांड बढ़ेगी, क्या डिमांड गिरेगी। और ये कंपनीज एक्सपेरिमेंट करती रहती हैं बिकॉज दे वांट टू नो and because they want to become the market leader, they want to get the maximum share of the market. Is the point clear to all?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ओके, सो प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी बहुत मैटर करती है। आपको लगता है कि चलो मैं यहाँ पे अपना, मेरा दुकान है, बाजू में 4 समोसे की दुकानें हैं, वड़ा पाव भी बेचते हैं, फास्ट फूड भी बेचते हैं, मैं भी वड़ा पाव बेच रहा हूँ, चलो मैं अपने वड़ा पाव के दाम को गिरा देता हूँ। तो वो गिराने के बाद आपकी डिमांड में कुछ असर पड़ता है क्या, ये आप ऑब्जर्व करेंगे। यही बेसिस बनता है कई बार प्राइस सेटिंग के लिए, प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी। कई बार आपने देखा होगा एयरलाइन कंपनीज दे रिड्यूस द प्राइसेस, क्यों करते हैं, ऑफ सीजन सेल, ताकि बढ़ाने के लिए कस्टमर का एक अभी आप करंट में देख सकते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ लॉकडाउन 50% कैपेसिटी के केवल फ्लाइट्स अभी सब ट्रेवल कर रही हैं जो रूट्स पे जा रही हैं। इसके अलावा कस्टमर्स को काफी प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, फ्लायर्स को काफी प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, पैसेंजर्स रेगुलरली कोई अल्टरनेटिव ढूंढ रहे हैं, तो बाई रोड जा रहे हैं या बाई ट्रेन जा रहे हैं। ट्रेन भी अभी फुल जाने लग गई। एक महीने पहले की हालत ये थी कि ट्रेन बिल्कुल खाली थी। अभी आज की तारीख में अगर आप पुणे स्टेशन में जाएंगे तो कोई भी ट्रेन खाली नहीं जा रही, सभी ट्रेन भरी हुई। क्यों? क्योंकि फ्लाइट्स उनके दाम बढ़े हुए हैं, ट्रेन एक अल्टरनेटिव है। कल को हो सकता है कि वापस से 100% फ्लाइट्स चालू हो जाएं सारे रूट्स में। उस केस में कंपनी अगर प्राइस रिड्यूस करती है तो दूसरी कंपनीज भी प्राइस रिड्यूस करती हैं, बिकॉज दे नो दैट खाली जाने से अच्छा ये है कि कम से कम पैसेंजर्स आ जाएं, ऑक्यूपेंसी बढ़ेगी तो उससे उनका बिजनेस बढ़ेगा, प्रॉफिट मार्जिन्स बढ़ेंगे। तो ये एक रीजन होता है प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड। नेक्स्ट इज द कॉम्पिटिटर्स कॉस्ट प्राइसेस एंड ऑफर्स। एज यू नो कॉम्पिटिटर का बहुत बड़ा इंपैक्ट पड़ता है। हम जो भी ऑफर कर रहे हैं उसका कॉम्पिटिटर के प्राइस से बहुत कुछ लेना देना है। जैसे अगर हम पहली बार इंटरव्यू देने जाते हैं, हम ये देखते हैं कि उस जॉब पोजीशन के लिए सामने वाला उतने ही एक्सपीरियंस में कितना मांग रहा है। हम इंक्वायरी करते हैं, उसके बाद हमसे पूछा जाता है व्हाट इज योर सैलरी एक्सपेक्टेशन। हम बता देते हैं कि हमारा सैलरी एक्सपेक्टेशन इतना है भाई, हम इतना लेना चाहते हैं, अब आप डिसाइड करें। तो अगर हमें गरज होती है, अगर हमें बहुत नीड होती है, तो वो कम अगर सैलरी भी देते हैं तो हम उसमें ज्वाइन कर लेते हैं। लेकिन अगर हमें गरज नहीं है, हमें केवल स्विच करना है, हमें ये देखना है कि हमारा लेवल कितना है, तो हम ये बोल देते हैं कि सॉरी सर। तो कॉम्पिटिटर का यहाँ पर काफी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल होता है। जब आपका प्रोडक्ट है, जब मार्केट में जाता है, उससे पहले कंपनी कॉम्पिटिटर्स एनालिसिस करती है। वो एक पेन भी होगा अगर आपके पास जो आप यूज कर रहे हैं, या आपकी एक मिठाई की दुकान आप खोलने जा रहे हैं, या हो सकता है कि आप स्मार्टफोन बेचने जा रहे हैं, या हो सकता है कि आप लैपटॉप सेल करने जा रहे हैं अपने स्टोर में। तो सबसे पहले आप ये देखोगे कि मार्केट में कौन कौन से कॉम्पिटिटर हैं, मार्केट कैसी है, कस्टमर किस टाइप के आते हैं, उसके बेसिस पे आपने अपने प्रोडक्ट का प्राइस रखा। जैसी मार्केट उस हिसाब के प्रोडक्ट, क्योंकि मार्केट अगर अच्छी नहीं है, मार्केट में कस्टमर ज्यादा प्रीमियम नहीं आते, प्रीमियम कैटेगरी रखेंगे तो प्रोडक्ट फेल होगा, बिजनेस नहीं आएगा। तो कॉम्पिटिटर की कॉस्ट, कॉम्पिटिटर का प्राइस, कॉम्पिटिटर का ऑफरिंग, उसको देखते हुए आपको खुद के प्राइसेस सेट करने हैं। So consider the competitors' cost, prices and possible reactions when developing a pricing strategy. जब जियो प्राइस कम करता है तो इमीडिएट इंपैक्ट आता है एयरटेल पे और वोडाफोन आइडिया पे। क्यों? क्योंकि उनको पता है वो रिड्यूस नहीं करेंगे तो मार्केट ऑलरेडी वो खा चुका है जियो, और मार्केट खत्म हो जाएगी। देन प्राइसिंग स्ट्रैटेजी इन्फ्लुएंसेस द नेचर ऑफ कंपटीशन। कैसा कंपटीशन है उसके हिसाब से आपकी प्राइसिंग स्ट्रैटेजी चेंज होती रहती है। लो प्राइस लो मार्जिन स्ट्रैटेजीज इनहिबिट द कंपटीशन। एक बड़ी कंपनी ने अपने नए प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च किए मार्केट में और उसने अपने प्रोडक्ट का दाम बिल्कुल कम रखा। इससे क्या होता है, नया कॉम्पिटिटर अगर एंटर करने वाला होता है तो उसको पता है कि यार इतने कम में तो हम धंधा ही नहीं कर पाएंगे, हम सर्वाइव ही नहीं कर पाएंगे, इससे बेटर है हमें घुसना ही नहीं है। सो दैट इज द बेनिफिट ऑफ लो प्राइस लो मार्जिन। हाई प्राइस हाई मार्जिन का क्या फायदा होता है, कंपनीज क्या करती है, अट्रैक्ट करती है कंपटीशन को कि आ जाओ जिस सेगमेंट में आ जाओ, यहाँ पर बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉफिट अपॉर्चुनिटी है। हाई प्राइस हाई मार्जिन, तो उसके बाद क्या होता है, ज्यादा कॉम्पिटिटर आते हैं, ज्यादा सब्स्टिट्यूट होते हैं और एक टाइम के बाद वो मार्केट सैचुरेट हो जाती है। बेंचमार्किंग कॉस्ट अगेंस्ट द कंपटीशन इज रिकमेंडेड। आपको आपके प्रोडक्ट का फीचर देखना है, आपको ये देखना है कि आपके प्रोडक्ट की ब्रांड इमेज क्या है और आपका प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में कहां स्टैंड करता है, कॉम्पिटिटर के कंपैरिजन में आपकी क्या ब्रांड इमेज है। उसके बेसिस पे आपने अपनी खुद की एक बेंचमार्किंग कॉस्ट होना बहुत जरूरी है। जब आपके प्रोडक्ट की बेंचमार्किंग कॉस्ट होगी उसके हिसाब से आप अपना प्राइस सेटिंग कर पाएंगे। इज द पॉइंट क्लियर टू ऑल?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How many of you are satisfied with my lecture today? I want a feedback.
Yes, sir. Fully satisfied, sir.
Full satisfied.
Fully
sir.
satisfied.
Thank you, but I want some more students also. Thank you, those who have given the feedback. How about my other friends? Hope you have liked my lecture.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir.
That's
Yes,
good.
sir.
Thank you for reciprocating. So we end over here and we will meet tomorrow. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye bye.